Thanks, Stephen. When asked about the location of the South Campus dorms, many respondents mentioned they like being close to students their own age in a heavily populated area. They also mentioned they like being close to Central Campus because that's where the majority of their classes are. However, about half of the students found it inconvenient to walk further distances, such as Grawn and the Health Professions Building. Take a listen to this.
Tell me about, what do you think of the location of the towers?
I really like the location of the towers, actually, because it's all right there by the majority of my classes, right there in the courtyard of Anspa and Pierce and all that.
I really like the towers because there's a lot of people and I make a lot of friends there. Most of my classes so far have just been at the EHS and places around there, like more, so it hasn't been too bad. I've had one class in Grawn and that was kind of annoying, but in general I really like the location and the campus, and I'm right next to 7-Eleven if I need anything quick.
While discussing the topic of transportation, many of the respondents mentioned how they found Central's campus to be rather convenient. Some even mentioned that they enjoyed the walk to class when the weather was nice. However, when the weather was poor, students did not enjoy the walk. Some would even skip class when there was inclement weather. Let's hear some examples.
Honestly, I mostly just walk. I don't have a car up here because I decided to leave it at home, and I don't have a bike, so I just walk. I'm not really athletic, so I actually don't mind having to walk everywhere. It gives me a chance to get outside. Unless it's really cold, then I just don't leave, but mostly I'm fine with walking.
Since I'm becoming an accounting major, oftentimes I have to, I live pretty much in Grawn, so I have to walk there constantly, and I don't like that really. I wish I was a little bit closer.
Initially, when asked about campus wheels, a vast majority of the students had positive reactions to it. Let's hear what they have to say.
I thought it was pretty impressive. I thought that's a valid point, especially if you are living at Thorpe and you do have to go to Finch or go to the HP building or go to Grawn. It is a nice little walk. And he was absolutely correct with the whole, if you did have a car trying to park, it's still hard enough to find a spot in time. And some of those classes, they're all back to back to back, so sometimes you might have 15 minutes, like you said, to get there, and you might not be able to. So if you did have a bike and you did have somehow had a system where you could rent a bike, I think that would work.
I think it's a good alternative for freshmen that need it for maybe an hour and a half, don't want to walk. So yeah, it makes sense.
I thought it was a pretty creative idea. I mean, there are a lot of people that do like to ride their bikes to class, and it is a lot better than driving all around campus fighting for spots.
Students feel that the Campus Wheels program will decrease time to and from class. However, they believe that the increase in bike traffic will lead to more accidents on campus. Let's listen in.
Personally, I think it's just going to make things a little bit more dangerous if you put kids on more bikes. We already have a problem with kids obeying laws because bikes is a motor vehicle with stopping at stop signs on campus. And if you just give even more people an option of riding bikes on campus, you're going to run into that. I feel like it's just going to cause a lot more traffic where a walker's easy to see, but someone on a bike can just come up immediately. So I see kind of a safety issue.
Results show that most students wouldn't feel comfortable riding a bike with an advertisement on it because they feel it could draw unwanted attention. Let's have a listen.
Personally, I wouldn't want to ride a bike that has a big old advertisement sign in the middle of it.
I just think that if you're gonna, renting a bike, some kids might feel a little bit awkward because, if you do need a bike, most kids would buy them, and it's going to be kind of obvious that you're a freshman, and that could just lead to some unwanted attention. And so I just don't know if kids socially would be right on board to accept it.
Some major benefits that can be taken away from the Campus Wheels program is that they will provide students with a quick and efficient way to and from class that is also cost-effective. Another benefit is that they can potentially increase attendance in classes. Let's hear more about this.
Then you just get the class quicker. You don't have to, if you're, I don't know how busy schedules are, if you have to go from, Grawn all the way to Anspa in 10 minutes, it's a little bit more effective to use a bike or rent a bike for an hour and a half.
As bad as it sounds, maybe students actually go into class because people might skip out if they don't want to walk that 15 minutes. They're in a bad mood and they're already running a little bit late. They might just say, hey, I'm just stay at home. I'm going to be late anyway. So if they have a bike, they'll cut down the time and they'll get there.
Would definitely make students want to go to class if the weather's bad or anything like that, instead of just saying screw it because I have to walk 15 minutes in terrible weather.
Students believe Campus Wheels can be improved upon by making Central's campus more bike accessible and increasing the amount of checkout points. Let's check the tape.
I think it'd be convenient if they had multiple locations where you could get the bikes from, because even going from South Campus and the Towers all the way to, say, East Campus over by Herrig Hall, that's still really far. I mean, that's about a 10-minute walk. So, I mean, that's if there was multiple locations, that would definitely be more convenient.
Like I said, more locations. Like, say you want to, I don't know, if you want to rent a bike, you know, in Thorpe, or you want to leave it at Gron, so maybe Gron has a system there, just so you can go all over and like leave it. You know, if they'll return to the exact location that you're at. I guess that would be kind of be nice. Something else that wouldn't work. I guess a lot of I guess when I go around, I really don't see too many like parking like racks for bikes. I see like a couple outside of Gron, but if more bikes are going to be running, you need more racks.
They only have one station in the South Campus, right? I think they should have another center in North Campus so both sides of campus can use it instead of having to walk back all the way to South Campus every time if you're from North Campus.
Even make it so you could check bikes in at different areas if you needed to.
Frankly, if you start running out hundreds of bikes to students, I don't know if there would even be enough space for bike riders, which would make a big problem.
Upon further discussion of Campus Wheels, students have mixed feelings on the utilization of the program. Let's get their thoughts.
You'll have some students who would do it every single day, I feel. Mm-hmm. And you have some that might do it like once a week and try it out, and then some might get frustrated because there's not bikes, so they would just say no to the whole idea.
Walk there, and what if the bikes were all taken up already and so that you were late for class? Like, I just could see a lot of problems with it, but I mean, I don't think it's like a horrible idea. I could see some problems, and maybe I just don't know if that many people, like, I know me and my friends, like a lot of my friends walk together to class. I have a class with a few of the people in my hall, and I just don't see us just taking up biking. Just because if I wanted a bike, I would probably just bring my own bike that I have at home.
I think some benefits could possibly be that day where you're running really late for an exam. I think in one of those random situations you can't foresee when you need to get, or you forgot about a group meeting and you just don't have the essence of time, that would be maybe when I would think people would benefit from being able to swipe a bike. But to be honest, I just don't know, with the culture on campus currently, everyone that kind of needs a bike has their own bike, so I don't know how people would possibly feel about having to rent this kind of free bike idea.
I think the students would love it and take advantage of it.
I definitely see myself taking advantage of it. You know, it's very efficient. I think it would be easy to use.
Through qualitative research, we used in-depth interviews to gain knowledge about students' perceptions on the Campus Wheels program, as well as how they traveled around campus. After hand-selecting our sample, our respondents provided us with a great amount of information to enlighten us on what's there. The major takeaway is that, according to students, Campus Wheels appears to be beneficial on the surface, while taking a closer look, students seemed indifferent towards the idea. They liked the idea of getting around campus quicker. Also, a number of respondents indicated that being able to rent a bike would encourage more students to attend class if they were already running late or if they needed to travel farther away. Despite the potential benefits, students still had concerns, specifically questions of safety and social appearance. To help improve this program, students suggested making CMU more bike accessible, along with implementing more rental locations throughout campus. Overall, several students mentioned they enjoy walking during the warm weather, as well as the majority of their classes being located near their respective residence hall, which would not enable them to fully utilize the Campus Wheels program. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed the ride of your life.